Hello everyone and welcome to the PayAIO YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be giving you a broken down overview of the PayAIO application. So let's go ahead and begin on the settings page, and then we're going to make our way up through all the pages. So on the settings page, this is the information you're going to see, and there's a few things you can configure on this page. So on the left side, you're going to see your Discord account that is currently binded with the key you've logged into the application. So as you guys can see, my Discord API is there, my Discord username is there, and I'm currently connected. Then below that, you have some information regarding your renewal on your license. So my license type is a lifetime, so I don't have a payment method because I'm not paying any type of renewal. Obviously I wouldn't have a renewal date if I have a lifetime key, and I don't want an email either because this key was gifted to me. In your guys' case, if you do have a renewal, you will most likely have some information here, but that explains those headers. Moving over to the right side, this is where you can go ahead and enter your Discord webhook for notifications based on your tasks activity, like successful checkouts, failed checkouts, stuff like that. Once you go ahead and enter a webhook, you have the option to go ahead and test it if you wish. Moving over to monitor delay and retry delay, this is in relation to your tasks. So obviously you can go ahead and configure this, but by default it is set to 1000 and 2000. As you guys can see, it's a bit grayed out there. And then for AYCD autosolve, you can utilize that if you wish for your tasks. You would have to go ahead and enter the API key and your access token, and make sure to go ahead and click save once you've gone ahead and configured this section. Moving over to sounds, there is 3 sounds within PayAIO that you can listen to and also configure. So we have success, decline and capture. You can go ahead and listen to them by clicking this button over here. I'm not going to do it in the video, but if you want to listen to it then you can. However, you do actually have the option to import files from your file directory and go ahead and customize the sounds for success, decline and capture. So if you want to utilize that, then you can. Moving over to the Discord tools page, I'm going to go ahead and break down everything you can see here. So on the Discord info section, you can go ahead and put in the monitor token, the channel ID and keywords. Just to go ahead and break down keywords, I will mention it later because the way keywords work here and the way it works in the task page is exactly the same. So you have positive and negative keywords. Positive keywords being the ones it searches for, negative keywords being the ones it ignores and doesn't go for, obviously. And essentially the way you distinct a positive and negative is shown in an example here. So the positive keyword is Cybersoul because it has a plus there, and the negative keyword is Twitter because it has a dash there, and they are separated with a comma. So just ignore the red boxes there. I put in some information by accident, but essentially how this works is you put in your monitor token, you put in your channel ID, and you put in the keyword, you hit the save, and the logs based on what the Discord tools is doing will be displayed here. So let's say someone puts a link inside a Discord channel, you can go ahead and monitor that channel ID and it will go ahead and open a link depending on the keywords you put in here. And when it comes to configuration, you have 3 options here. You have the auto link opener, which you can tick to go ahead and activate, and when you hit the auto link opener, you can choose the number of browsers going from 1 to 10, and then your number of custom tasks. So you can choose that from 1 to 10 once again, and also select your profile. This is empty at the moment because we don't have a profile, but I will get to that later in the video. For the auto join invites, if you hit this, there's no available configurations with it, you just enable it or disable it. And for auto claim nitro is exactly the same, you just enable it or disable it, and then you can click start once you've gone ahead and configured your information on this page. Now moving over to the captcha solver page, this is pretty simple, pretty standard compared to other bots. You have your captcha solvers, all of them will appear here. You can create a new solver at any time. You can go and delete it with this button. You can hit this button to go ahead and launch the Google login, and you can go ahead and watch YouTube videos to generate some activity in your account that actually does help your captcha score, and you can go ahead and launch the captcha solver with this button. So I'm just going to demonstrate that the delete button works. You have collective buttons down here, so let's say I have 5 captcha solvers and I don't want to individually click these or delete these in this case. You can utilize these buttons if you want, but I've only got one here, so I'm going to explain how this works. You hit the start button here, it's going to pop up as you guys can see. Now if you hit this button, if I just go to the tab here because it's in full screen, as you guys can see, it's going to prompt me to go ahead and log into a Gmail account. I'm not going to do that in this video, but as long as you guys understand that that's how you go and log into your Gmail account for this solver, then you guys can utilize it when going for releases. Moving over to the accounts page, this is where you can go and enter accounts into an account list that can be used with your tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly demonstrate how this would work. So let's say if I had john@gmail.com, and I said the password is going to be John123. Just like that, I go ahead and configure the account list name. I'm going to call it video test, and I'm going to hit the save button. As you guys can see, one account list has been created in this section. The account list name is video test, which will be configured, and there's one account in that list. And when it comes to these buttons down here, which is edit and delete, this can only be used when you select an account list. So imagine there was like 10 account lists here and I wanted to go ahead and select one of them. For this example, I'm just going to hit video test because that's the only one available. I can use the delete button to go ahead and delete this, or I can use the edit button and then I can go ahead and edit everything we originally configured, being the account list name and the accounts within that list. Moving over to proxies, this is where you can go ahead and enter proxies into the application that can be used with your tasks. In terms of the formation for your proxies, it has to be IP, port, username and password. Once again, very similar system to the accounts page. You can go ahead and enter a proxy list name and your proxies will be saved under that list, and you can go ahead and select that list in the task creation process. And once you've created a proxy list, it will appear here for you to use. And then obviously you can go ahead and edit it and delete it again. But let me just show you how that process looks like once again. So I'm going to go ahead and enter some proxies here. As you guys can see, I've entered 3 in there. I'm going to call the proxy list video test, just like so. I'm going to hit the save button. As you guys can see, the proxy list is there. The reason why it says 4 is because my mouse was selected on the 4th one. That's why it picked up that line as a false proxy, but in reality there's only 3 proxies there. If I hit the list, I have the option to go ahead and edit it or delete it. Once again, if I edit, it's going to pop up here, as you guys can see. Now moving over to the billing page, you have a few sections that you have to focus on, which is the shipping address, billing address, card info, and then the configurations in terms of the profile. And you can also go ahead and export and import profiles if you wish to do so. I'm not going to demonstrate that in this video, but the option is always there. So what you can do is what most people do, is that your billing address and your shipping address can be the same. If you want to do that, hit this button. It will go ahead and grey out the billing address section, and it will just duplicate everything you enter in the shipping address section to the billing address section. And then obviously go ahead and fill out your card information and the information down here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out with some test information, and then I'll pick it back up when I'm on this section. I'm going to go ahead and call this billing profile video test. I'm going to hit the save button. As you guys can see, all the information goes away, and that is because the profile is not available in this drop down. As you guys can see, I can load it and I can also delete it if I wish. Moving over to the task page, this is the final page within the application. I'm going to go ahead and break down everything we can see here. So when you go ahead and create a task, various information will go ahead and drop under these headers, which is the ID, site, item, size, profile, proxy, and status. The status is dependent on what the task is doing, but the rest of the information you will configure when you go ahead and create the task. And just before I do that, you have a few collective buttons here. You have the start all button, which will start all your tasks, the stop all button, which will stop all your tasks, and the delete all button, which will delete all of your tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the create tasks button, and this is what I'm going to be greeted with. So I select the site, the size, the product profile, and proxies. This task creation process will differ depending on the site I go ahead and choose. I'll go ahead and demonstrate what that looks like, but this is to go ahead and schedule your task if you wish to do that, which I will cover in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and select the site here. Let's say I hit Supreme, for example. As you guys can see, the create task process has gone ahead and adapted based on the site I've selected. So I'm not going to actually run a task in this video, but I'm just going to show you how this process looks like. So for example, size not available, keyword can be anything. Once again, it is separated by commas. You have positive and negative keywords. So I could have positive test, and then obviously a comma to go ahead and separate the keyword, then negative test. So I have a positive keyword and a negative keyword. Moving on to color, I'm just going to call it black. Category, this can be anything. This is just a test task. Profile, that's the profile we've created. Proxies, that's the proxy list we've created. And then for the type, you have headless and visual. Once again, this is in relation to the Supreme tasks. If I were to click on a different site here, it'd be completely different. So keep that in mind. And then you can go ahead and set up a runtime on your computer, and that will run off your local computer time. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to hit the create task button. And as you guys can see, it's gone ahead and actually created my task here. So the ID is the task number, and this is the first task, hence why it's 1. The site is Supreme. The item is our keywords or links that we go ahead and enter here. The size not available, profile, video test, proxy, video test, and status idle because we have yet to do anything. And then on the individual task, we have the start button, stop button, and delete button. And just to demonstrate how this works, if you hit the start button, this is going to go through a bunch of things. I'll click the visual, so it's actually going through the process. I can hit the pause button and we'll go and stop it. And I can go ahead and hit the delete button if I wish to do that. So that is going to go ahead and conclude the overview of PayAIO.